Woo! So yeah, today we have an interesting topic, especially with the fact that now so many teams are recruiting and looking for players ahead of the next season. So, do you remember when I said this? And then, goalmine midfielder John Champe Ochieng has been invited for trials in Portugal. They said they want to evaluate the player over 3 months and then probably decide on whether they're going to sign him permanently, which is actually key. I'll be talking about trials and the likes on the next video, so just bear in mind that 3 month period. So today we'll look at some of the facts and my own opinions about open trials in Kenya, so stay tuned. Just like anything else, things differ. Things are different in different countries, different regions, different locations. And in Kenya, basically open trials, news is just put out there for players to come and try out, really. So it's open to the public. It's literally open trials. So one of the problems with this is the fact that, one, the numbers can be mad. I'm talking about like 40 plus, maybe even 50, 100, depending on the team, the size of the team as well. I say this based off my own experience. It depends on the type of team you're actually going to, or rather is conducting these trials, and even where they are in the league. It also depends on the timing of the news being put out there. So the problem with this, first of all, is that you don't get good time to play, because normally you just come, warm up, and get into a game. So you find yourself even playing a few minutes. In that time, you may not even be able to impress the coaches. From my experience, again, you find that the team doesn't have enough coaches to really look at all these players at once. The duration as well, you find a number of teams doing trials for a few days, which isn't really good because you're not able to identify a player's strengths, no weaknesses, which is key. Like I mentioned, one of the players going to Portugal for 3 months. You see that compared to someone going to a team for 3-4 days. Someone could just decide to push, impress for just that duration sign, and then is when you start seeing how a player actually is. So let me tell you about my experience. When I was referred to a coach, imagine it was very direct, and that's another thing. With these open trials, there's a lot of favorism. So as I said, I've been on both sides, whereby I've gone as an unknown player, and then the other time I went and the coach knew who I was, and the coach of the team, it was a Premier League team, happened to be the coach's boy. So I went there, I jumped the line. I won't even lie to you. I jumped the line and I played even more. I played way more, and I was called to, for the next day. I was actually just trying to share this knowledge to young upcoming players. So open trials, usually you'd hear people saying how they already have their own players, their own, there are times when even you go for open trials and you find coaches calling other players, not in their team, but players who have come for the trials or tryouts, and he's already familiar with them. So that's another thing. I think open trials are good for an upcoming player. Absolutely not. Perhaps you'd go there just for the experience, playing against Premier League or experienced players. Although at the same time it's not the best, because chances are you'd get serious injuries. Because guys are looking for teams, and so it'll be a bit tough. Guys are trying to impress, so you could easily get injuries. Trials in Kenya are a bit tricky. If we were able to conduct them longer, if we were able to have systems whereby someone can come, you review the player properly, and review him properly. This guy's strengths, this guy's weaknesses, where you can improve. Is this a player I can take? I can, sign and then take him on loan to polish 1 or 2 areas, or rather, is he just not good enough as of now? Should we keep track of him in his club? Such stuff, because these things don't actually happen as such, and that's one of the reasons I think also our football just needs to. That's one of the reasons or areas I think our football could grow and become better, especially when it comes to such a scenario. So next video I'll be talking about how to find or rather sign for a team if you're an aspiring footballer, especially a young aspiring footballer. And I hope this information has been helpful. Do share what you think about trials and whatnot in Kenya. Also areas that we could improve on. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Do share and check out our other social media platforms at L4B Love Football. And as always, support Kenyan football. We're out.